Hello, everyone. It's Mo and from Mo in the Deep End, and it is the 7th of May. Now, we are having storms coming through, so if I lose you guys, I didn't leave, but we have storms coming through. So thank you, Wolfram, for always, doing the mod thing. Thank you, Cynthia, retired firefighter, both for your service and popping in. Tammy, good evening. Robert or D. Robertson, good evening. So our first story broke me. It broke my sanity. I can't anymore. What is going on? Please tell me that, the particle collider messed up and when they ran a test, we got all shoved into the dumb dimension. And because other than that, I can't, y'all. Bear dragged Massachusetts car crash victim's body from vehicle and into the woods. Oh, yes, absolutely. They, I hope that everyone is safe. Uh, my daughters decided they needed to go to Walmart because the prom is this weekend. So I'm a little nervous about that, but Mom, you have to let your chicks fly, which is difficult because there are now bears getting an Uber Eats from I can't, y'all. This is like a bear Uber Eats. Mr. Mo was like, please don't tell me you're gonna say that. I was like, hell yes, I'm gonna save that. Uh JKD Buck, I don't know. I don't really think about the classic uh composer, but Mozart would be my favorite if I had one because he has a Mo in his name. Welcome, Peter A. and Wyatt Earp. So let's find out about this bear getting an Uber Eats. Welcome, Slidey Pie from Rumble. I do simulcast on Rumble. I am trying to upload more things on Rumble and have some Rumble exclusives. Spicy stories that cannot go on the YouTubes. It's just, I need 5 minutes to stay on task. Today I decided to do my hair for reasons I can't imagine. A driver likely killed in a horrible car crash in Massachusetts was found next to a bear that appeared to have dragged his body into the woods, according to cops. Daniel Duchamp, 31, lost control of his car on Route 91 in Hatfield Sunday morning, striking the guardrail multiple times before hurtling off the road and down an embankment, Boston 25 News reported. Thank you, Graceful Klutz. So I will be doing a wet set probably tomorrow, and I will show you how to do that. It sounds complicated, but as a chaos demon, sometimes it works. Welcome, WW and Ghostery. Duchamp is thought to have been unalived in the accident, and as much as I'm laughing about this, may his family have all the support they need. This is someone's brother, someone's son, and I can't imagine, losing him so suddenly. And then, quote, was either fully, so he was unalived in the accident and he was either fully ejected or partially ejected from his 2016 Honda Civic, CBS News added, citing Massachusetts State Police. Yeah, I didn't know that Massachusetts had a bunch of bears. Another driver alerted the police to the remains of the wreck off the roadway around 11 a.m. Quote, when first responders reached the scene, the deceased male occupant of the vehicle was outside the car and a bear was observed in the woods in the vicinity of the scene, state police said, suggesting that the animal had dragged the driver's body over there. Quote, evidence suggests that the bear at some point made contact with the victim's body. Welcome, Captain Kern and JKD Buck. Well, that's sad. The bear left the area while the troopers were on the scene. He's like, y'all, I asked for delivery and you didn't even give me, the dipping sauce. How dare you? a full investigation uh, into the crash and whether Duchamp was unalived in the initial car crash, which I hope he was, because as epic as it would be to, shuffle off this mortal coil by bear, I know that the family's hurting, and it's probably compounded if, you have to hide, Yogi the bear trying to eat the picnic basket. I'm a terrible person going straight to Hades, I swear to goodness. And check out Captain Kern. He has his own channel, and we need to help people grow. You know, a rising tide raises all ships. So, go there, and he makes the most wonderful color book pages on current trials. And I'm telling him, look, I would totally buy the, Karen Reed case coloring book. But in all honesty, I am very sorry that this gentleman passed away. And I do hope that, you know, his family gets all the support. Peter A., thank you for being a member for 4 months. Maybe he was just looking for a picnic basket. I mean, you have to tip the Uber Eats guy. He was probably like, I gave you $5. In more serious news, and I don't know, I have actually I think one of my daughter's friends had leukemia, I believe. So I've already filled out in case I'm a donor for someone. But a Pennsylvania mom seeks a perfect match bone marrow donor to cure her daughter's rare disorder. So, just think about it. It is a commitment. And, I did make a commitment, if anyone ever needs anything from me, but my anatomy seems to be weird. So, but still, just to give, I, I may not have the biggest channel, but if someone sees this and, maybe gets themselves tested, we can maybe find a cure for this child. A 10-year-old girl in Pennsylvania is in dire need of a bone marrow transplant, and her mother is on a mission to find a perfect match. Lainey Walters suffers from a disease called DOCK8 deficiency, a detector of cytokinesis 8 deficiency, an immunodeficient syndrome that can cause recurrent life-threatening infections. DOCK8 is very rare, with only 250 people worldwide currently diagnosed, statistics show. The only cure for DOCK8 is a bone marrow transplant, also known as a hematopoietic stem cell transplant. I really sound like a person. Yes, be careful, be Blazy. No stream is worth you being, unsafe. So if you have to go, we want you to be safe. Ashley Water, a kindergarten teacher, is pleading for people to join the bone marrow blood stem cell registry to help her daughter find a donor by summer. Quote, time is of the essence, she told Fox News Digital. Walter's daughter was diagnosed with this disease when she was 7.5 years old, a culmination of a long series of symptoms and illnesses. This poor girl, she apparently just gets a bunch of infections, and that's just terrible. Quote, Lainey's health issues started at just a couple months old, Walter told Fox News Digital during an interview. As a baby, she had full body eczema from head to toe and continuous ear infections. At 11 months old, she was diagnosed with severe allergies to eggs, milk, peanuts, tree nuts, and many other food. She also experienced continuous skin infections and staph infections. In January 2021, the family was invited to the clinic at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, or CHOP, where Walter's daughter was able to see specialists from immunology, allergy, and dermatology together all in one appointment. Good evening, Audio Coffee and Tammy and BL Blazy. They all came together to try to figure out what might be going on, Walter said. Each of their specialties ran their own special blood work to see what was going on with Lainey. The results showed abnormalities in the immune system. Doctors recommended doing genetic testing. And she's such a cute little munchkin. And she's holding a cat who looks like all my cats when the youngest, most feral, have them. Like, save me, save me. Slidey pie, good for you. And it's, it's awesome. Sorry, my daughter is like, what's the balance? Of course, dang it. Sorry. She is, their prom is this weekend. And, my in laws are coming in. So we're trying to clean the house, and I'm deeply embarrassed about our carpet. So it's a little crazy over here. If you have issue, or a few months later, the family received news that Walters has, for the love of, uh, two variants of the DOCK8 gene. If you have issues on both sides of the genes, that's when you present with a disorder, Walter said. Testing showed that both my husband and I are recessive carriers to DOCK8 variant, which we passed down to Lainey. Now, I know that there's a movie about this, My Sister's Keeper, but could they maybe have a child? Look, if they use stem cells, could that work? Or would that be bad? And it's an ethical question that you would have to ask yourself if you had a child to help your other child. Would that child feel exactly like, you would think being used just for pieces and parts? So I am not sure if if that would be a good thing, but I would think that that would be, a way to get bone marrow that is similar, but I could be very wrong. I am not a doctorologist. I just watched this. It's the one movie, My Sister's Keeper, when Alec Baldwin, his douchiness is sort of under control. Uh, let's see here. She said it, so that's what we found out. All the health issues Lainey had experienced through her entire life were not unrelated. Dr. Mark Siegel, clinical professor of medicine at NYU Langone Medical Center and Fox News medical contributor, was not involved in Lainey Walters' care but commented on the condition. It's a rare immune condition where the bone marrow doesn't make enough immune cells, and the immune cells that are made have trouble penetrating into dense tissue like skin. He told Fox News Digital. After the diagnosis, Walter's daughter was invited to visit the National Institute of Health in Maryland, where researchers are studying this deficiency. Well, at least they are doing stuff. It is supremely irritating when you now know what is wrong and there's nothing that they can really do. It is supremely upsetting, and I really hope she gets a match. We're going there about every 6 months to see how Lainey is doing, and that's why they recommend what they recommended as she gets older. Walter said the symptoms of the deficiency tend to get more severe as the child grows into late adolescent and early child or adulthood, doctors have said. Some of the biggest concerns are respiratory difficulties and a higher risk of various cancers, along with ongoing risk of infections. To help her manage the condition, Walter's daughter has been getting weekly intravenous immune globulin infusions, which add human antibodies to help fight infection. She also takes daily antibiotics to help prevent pneumonia, uses an inhaler to keep her respiratory system clear, and takes other medications to treat different illnesses she's experienced because of this. This poor little baby. Um, having to take all those medicines, it really does remind you every time you take a pill that there's something wrong with you. And she's so sweet. That's probably one of the least favorite parts of her day when I tell her that she needs to take her medication. Oh. Since the only cure for her condition is a bone marrow transplant, her doctors recommend that Lanny has the transplant to help cure this deficiency before she gets older. Dr. Brent Osborne, a Florida neurologist and longevity expert at Synoptics, described HSCT, transformative reset button, for patients suffering from this deficiency. Osborne was not involved in Lainey Walters' case. Imagine your immune system as a computer plagued by a virus, he told Fox News Digital. The HSCT removes the compromised software and installs new functional cells for individuals with this deficiency, who typically face frequent infections, severe allergies, and increased cancer risk. It can mean a dramatic shift forward in immunologic normalcy and provide a new lease on life. Sigel also emphasized the procedure's importance, calling it a crucial life-saving procedure. The average wait for a transplant is about 3 months, according to Segal. They are very expensive, about $190,000, and insurance covers the procedure, but not the cost of finding a donor. There is a 25% chance that a sibling will be a match. In Lainey Walters' case, her 14-year-old sister was not a match. The overall chance of finding a match in the world is 1 to 3 or 2 to 3, Segal said. The organization known as NMPD, formerly the National Marrow Donor Program, Be the Match, maintains a registry of people who are willing to donate. The Walter family found a 90% match on the registry, but the optimal situation would be a 100% match. There's much less risk with a bone marrow transplant if you can find that perfect match. Lainey Walters' doctors recommend she receive the donation before she starts middle school. Next year, she will be in the 5th grade. Ideally, we would do it before Lainey sees significant issues with other organs in her body. If the family does not find a perfect match, Walters said she will donate to her daughter, as parents are always half matches. Obviously, we would love for her to be able to find a full match on the donor registry, which is much less of a risk. But if that's not possible, we can move forward with half a match. With partial matches, there's a higher risk of graft versus host disease. So they've noticed this. I am an uber nerd. So CRISPR is the new thing where you can take out, the bad DNA and put the good DNA in. Say you have, sickle cell anemia. They use CRISPR to take out those genes involved and plant new information in the genetic code. Now, the problem is that the body is starting to revert back to those damaged cells, that damaged DNA, and they're not quite sure why. But I do feel like at some point CRISPR will be very important. So it goes on, but if you feel so motivated, look and see if you can be a donor or, something like that. I hope this little girl has, finds someone who's willing to, donate, and she gets better. She doesn't have to deal with 900 medications, because it's no fun. It really isn't. In the douchiest McDouche face that ever douched, what the hell is this? All, all of the y'all, I'm telling you, people are testing the Jesus in me. They are testing and I'm not even a really good Christian. I'm a recovering Catholic. Man who fathered children, not a father, who said I would do it again after unaliving his children and tucking them into bed, locked up for life as he claims, quote, I will always love my wife and kids. Sir, there is a chippy somewhere. I believe we have a cure for this. Yes, I do. I'm gonna have to make a chippy scene. I really am. Stinger. Oh, you're fine. I assume people generally, sometimes just fat finger it. Like, damn it. And then the autocorrect tries to tell you what you think you thought you said, and it's just not the same. This absolute, that scab that forms on pudding sometimes if you make it? He's that scab on the pudding. And I don't even like pudding. Pudding is a fake dessert. Change my mind. A Nebraska father convicted months ago of unaliving his children following a chilling confession that he would, quote, do it again, was locked up for life without the possibility of parole on Monday in Sarpy County. Yep, seems okay to me. I'm looking for darns to give and I don't see any. Adam Lee Price. Why do they always have three effing names? Adam Lee Price, who will turn 39 in just over 2 weeks from now, was found guilty by a jury of his peers in February of murdering his daughter, 5 years old, and his son, 3 years old, before putting them back in bed to make it appear as if they were asleep, May 2021. You know what? I'm not even going to poison the snakes. I'm not going to poison the snakes. I'm not going to poison the snakes. You're going straight into the sun. Slidey Pie, you can have all the pudding. You can be reassured that if I start my, antisocial commune, you can have all the pudding. I'd rather have something like a brownie. I think he would poison the volcano. So I don't want his ashes getting all over me. So straight to the sun. He can become carbon. Allegedly Minecraft. Nebraska prison records reviewed by Law and Crime confirmed that Price was sentenced to life in prison without parole on Monday for his first-degree murder convictions. The case established that Price unalived his children, who were quote-unquote best friends, at his Bellevue home before withdrawing cash from a bank and going on the run to California, where he was arrested. Once in custody, the double murder suspect confessed that the slayings were premeditated. Well, I guess he doesn't even know the Fifth Amendment. I mean, but look, you're just fodder to get in the sun at this point. Once in custody, the double murder suspect confessed that the slayings have been. Oh, I read that. Testimony revealed that when detectives asked Price if, quote, killing the children was more about you than unaliving the children, then the suspect replied, yes, it was not a spur of the moment thing. I someone get the Mega Chippy out. Just get Mega Chippy out because this man is. I can't. The detectives testified next that since the convicted unaliver was remorseless when asked if he could see doing the day over again, I would do it again, Price answered, according to the detective. The medical examiner who conducted the autopsies on Emily and Theodore determined the cause of death was asphyxiation. The doctor told authorities that unaliving in the manner that Price unalived his kids takes a significant amount of time and effort. It really does. People think that, you're unalived immediately if you do a David Carradine. But it's the blood flow to the brain that makes you pass out. If you're looking for oxygen, it usually takes a good 3 to 4 minutes. I watch way too many true crime things. That's how I know this. Just saying. Let's see here. The medical examiner said, quote, it takes about a minute for someone to be rendered unconscious, then a minute to 2 minutes after that to be unalived. By smothering, prosecutor said. Officers with the Bellevue Police Department twice responded to calls for a wellness check on Price's home on the evening of May 15th and the early morning of May 16th in 2021, nearly 3 years ago. The children's mother, Mary Nielsen, Price's ex-wife, was concerned and called 911 after not hearing from her children for several days. She and Price were divorced and shared custody of the children. A provision of the custody sharing agreement required each parent to have daily contact with the children when they were in custody of the other parent. The children were supposed to be with Price in Nebraska for a week-long visit. If anyone has heard from Adam or seen him and the kids, or seen him on Facebook in the last 24 hours, can you please let me know? He's supposed to contact me every day when he has the kids per the court order, and I haven't heard from him in 2 days. Mary Nielsen wrote on Facebook at the time. A neighbor discovered the worst after walking into Price's unlocked home at Nielsen's request on the morning of May 16, 2021, leading authorities to begin an investigation. Price, for his part, had already fled to Pacifica, California, but he was taken into custody and extradited to Nebraska, where he remained in custody ever since. Yeah, and ma'am, I cannot imagine the pain you're going through, losing your two children in such a horrible way. My heart goes out to you, and I will keep you in my prayers, with the caveat that I'm the world's worst Christian, but I do believe God listens when the pain is great, so. Barring a successful appeal, Price will spend the rest of his days in a prison cell. At his sentencing hearing, Price claimed, quote, "I always have and always will love my wife and kids." KETV reported, "Please pray for them." This, no, just near, not even, where is this? In sad news, one of the characters from Grease passed away. I forgot she was in this, but Grease star Susan Buckner, who played Patty Simcock, was dead at 72. Susan Buckner, best known for playing Patty Simcock in Grease, has passed away. She was 72. Quote, "Suzanne died peacefully on May 2nd, surrounded by loved ones." Melissa Berthier, a publicist for the family, told People in a statement Tuesday. No cause of death was provided. Buckner's daughter, Samantha Mansfield, also remembered the late actress. Quote, "The light she brought to every room will be missed forever," Mansfield told the outlet. "She was magic, and I was very lucky to call her my best friend." She was this chick. Why do I feel like Grease was just made a couple weeks ago? I'm becoming a stay off my lawn person. Simcock was one of Sandy's, Olivia Newton-John's, cheerleading friend in the 1978 musical cult classic Grease. Born in 1952 in Seattle, Buckner was crowned Miss Washington in 1971. She later joined the Dean Martin Show as one of the Gold Diggers, an all-female singing and dancing group. She went on to appear in variety shows like The Mac Davis Show, Sonny and Cher, and The Brady Bunch Variety Hour. Buckner also starred along John Travolta, Stockard Channing, Barry Pearl, Diana Manoff, and Michael Tucci in the late Jeff Conway in Grease. Conway died at 60 in May 2011. Olivia Newton-John passed away at 73 in August 2022 after a long battle with breast cancer. Simcock had a famous cheer in the film. "Do the splits, give a yell, show a spirit for old Rydell. Way to go, red and white, go Rydell, fight, fight, fight." I mean, she was a beautiful woman. See, this is aging gracefully-ish. I mean, I'm sure she's had some fillers and stuff like that, but she doesn't look like freaking Nancy Pelosi with the double eyebrows because they pulled it back so far. For the love of all that is Cheetos. And she likes dogs, so I'm good with it. Buckner did not return for the sequel, Grease 2, because it was ridiculous. And if you've been made to watch it, don't. uh, which was released in 1982 and starred Michelle Pfeiffer and Maxwell Caulfield. She appeared on shows like Starsky and Hutch and The Love Boat after finding fame from Grease. Her final acting role was in 1981 slasher film Deadly Blessing. Buckner directed children's theater and taught dance at a gym in Florida in her later years. She is survived by Mansfield, son Adam Josephs, and grandchildren Oliver, Riley, Abigail, Ruby, as well as her sister Linda, daughter-in-law Noelle Josephs, and son-in-law Adams Mansfield, longtime partner Al. Just Al. But it is sad. It feels like we're losing a lot of people. What are these things? Well, we're going to learn. These are not weird things that just came out of the ocean. They actually do stuff. So, mysterious orange blocks on Texas beaches are sea turtle effigies. Interesting. Residents on the Texas coast are being asked to keep a lookout for mysterious orange painted blocks after wildlife researchers revealed their purpose researching turtles. Beachgoers in Galveston and Freeport recently reported coming across the unusual objects. I'd be like, this is aliens. Good evening, Jude Curio. I would be like, it's the aliens. Lately here, I'm like, what is the most crazy thing that you can think of? And since I didn't have Bear, taking a little bit of nibbles off of, his own Uber Eats, 2024, you magnificent crazy bastard, never change. I mean, it wasn't even 2 days into, I think, 2024, and we had the Hasidic men of mystery coming out of a sewer in New York. I can't. The objects had waterlogged notes attached asking finders to call the phone number. The Gulf Center for Sea Turtle Research revealed on social media that the blocks were wooden effigies meant to emulate sea turtles in an effort to understand how weather patterns and ocean currents influence the annual sea turtle strandings. A total of 80 effigy drifters were released off of Chandelier Island. Over half of them headed towards the Texas coast. 4 have already been found this week in our area, the center said. The post asked anyone who finds the orange painted block to contact the Gulf Center so research data can be collected. So there you go. These are pretend, turtles. As you do, you always have, your pretend turtles, because who wouldn't? In other news, it looks like more people are coming out against Boeing after 2 mysterious unalivings. Look, you guys better have your life insurance. This is more creepy than an Arkanside, if you know what I'm talking about. You don't have any like terrible information on certain political people, do you? Because holy fazolies, y'all better change your name, run to the witness protection program. Tamara, welcome. People's lives are at stake. 10 more Boeing whistleblowers come forward after the deaths of the previous 2. It does seem very odd that he got a mystery disease right as he was coming in to testify, and the poor other guy, allegedly shuffled off this mortal coil of his own doing when he was really happy. Because, yeah. Although, it will be said, and I wanted to actually, here, wait. So earlier today, we did the story about the pastor's wife, and it seems that even though he may have done some not so great things, it seems like she did call the police and tell them that she was, planning this so that the police knew where the body was going to be, or her body. So, I did rush to judgment, but that seems to be the case right now. Now, it could be that, things change as the investigation goes through, but I did want to kind of clear that up because generally I do not like to add to the pain of people if I can help it. So it does look like it might be a self-inflicted injury, even though the husband seems a little creepy. AF. They met when she was 14. Lord Chippy, you needs to be fed. Thank you. You know I'm a grammar outlaw. I can't remember what that thing means. A second whistleblower at Boeing has died with a mysterious infection after the first one allegedly unalived himself. 10 other whistleblowers have come forward to speak out against the agency or the company's safety practices. Joshua Dean, 45, passed away last week from a fast spreading infection. John Barnett, 62, allegedly self deleted, but said, however, to all of his friends that, like, look, I'm not feeling unaliving full. I feel pretty good about getting my testimony done. I think he had a breakfast or a dinner date with his lawyers, so he definitely did not seem to, but I do understand that people can hide things really well. So please, if you're feeling, that kind of feeling, please call the 1-800, 24-hour hotline, call a friend, you know, don't make a permanent choice for a, temporary situation. Lawyers for both deceased whistleblowers have hoped that the deaths do not scare off the other 10 who are speaking out against the company, according to the New York Post. Boeing whistleblowers include quality engineer. I'm not going to dox them. So it looks like they've got quality engineers, Boeing engineers, executive director of the Foundation for Aviation Safety, a technical advisor for the Foundation for Aviation Safety, and a former FAA engineer, and an assistant professor for integrated systems and engineering at Ohio State University. You guys can read the article if you want. It's from the Post Millennial, but I don't want to say their names. They're already going to get, Hillary Clinton in the middle of the night. Dean's death comes just a couple months after the death of Barnett, who passed away in March. Barnett worked for Boeing for 32 years and was found unalive in his truck with a force multiplier in his hand in the parking lot of a South Carolina hotel. He was found after failing to show up for the testimony that day in court after giving bombshell revelations in his prior statements. Boeing has faced increased scrutiny over the last several months for safety failures, and it was announced in March that Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun will step down by the end of 2024. I'm sure with a giant golden parachute, hopefully one that opens. I mean, hell, I don't know. Don't buy a Boeing parachute, sir. Thank you, Zach, for hitting the like button on the way through. And Slinky, yes. Yes, it is. But if you leave, who will protect me from grammar? Kevin Knowles, a Charleston, South Carolina attorney who represented both the deceased whistleblowers, stated, quote, "These men were heroes. So are all the whistleblowers. They loved the company and wanted to help the company do better." He added in a statement to the Post, quote, "They didn't speak out to be aggravating or for fame. They're raising concerns because people's lives are at stake," which I think is just fine. I don't get why people are such a giant dingles. Where is... in hard pass hell no territory, that's a nope. That's gonna be a nope for me. Just no. Apparently, Chinese climbers were stuck on a cliff for more than an hour due to overcrowding. Yeah, no, that's a noob. Y'all can just leave me. I'll be at the hotel, you know, not doing this. Mount Everest isn't the only peak in the world experiencing overcrowding. Earlier this week, groups of travelers climbing the Yangding Mountain in eastern China were stuck partway up a cliff, clinging to a rope along a fixed climbing route for more than an hour. Images of the climbers hanging off the cliffside as they waited for others to progress along the Vita Frata metal rung secured to the mountain went viral on Chinese social media. Quote, "This is frightening. Someone like me scared of heights might even wet myself." Yeah, I would need new pants. But I would have, yeah, I would have, well, worn a depends because I don't do heights. I don't do heights where it looks like you are just attached to a little dinky rope. And I have seen some of the construction jobs y'all do. That dam you built with a big giant crack in it. China, I love you. The CCP, I hate you. Just don't like you. I won't even go if offered cash for this, another said. Another commenter asked what would happen if one of the climbers fell and needed rescuing. They're all shown wearing helmets, harnesses, and safety gear. Wenzhou Dingcheng Sports Development Company Limited, which manages the Via Ferrata, said that it underestimated the number of people interested in climbing the mountain. Due to our misjudgment of how many customers would come, the lack of effective traffic controls such as ticket reservation, and the shortcoming of on site management, please don't send me to the gulag. Customers were blocked and trapped on the climbing route, the company said in a statement. The company added that it was temporarily halting ticket sales while it handled the situation internally and would be rolling out a traffic control system for visitors in the future. Yandang Mountain is about 410 kilometers or 255 miles south of Shanghai in the Zhengzhou province. Look, I am butchering the heck out of these names. But I graduated before No Child Left Behind, so really it's the government's fault. George Bush! If only we had elected Al Gore. He made the internet and he knows about Man Bear Pig. The first week of May is the Labor Day holiday in China, which contributed to the large number of tourists in the area. Oh my goodness. I hope everyone, if anyone is from Michigan and you're in the affected area, please get to safety. I want everyone to stay safe. A popular site for holidaymakers in China, the Yangding Mountain was submitted for UNESCO World Heritage Site designation in 2001 and remains on the tentative list. Welcome, Squid Pro Quo. If it's, well, I guess it is a heritage thing, but it's also a mountain. I don't know. Welcome, Tammy. In other news, Panera Bread is dropping its charged lemonade as it's the subject of several wrongful death lawsuits. I believe we have covered this before, but the charged or the supercharged lemonade has like a gajillion caffeine, which now that I think about it, I could use this to my advantage. I can get everything done. I'd be caffeinated to the gills, but that's way too much sugar. I wonder if they have sugar free, but they're not going to make it anymore. Panera Bread is eliminating charged lemonade from its menu, the caffeinated beverage that sparked multiple lawsuits and caused a public relations nightmare for the company. Well, he is, but the honorable doctor took his name from a mountain, so it's not a joke. He was just, finding his mountain. The charged lemonades will come off the menu in the next 2 weeks, according to Bloomberg, which first reported the news. The chain declined to comment on CNN about the timeline of the drink's removal. Panera has faced at least 3 separate lawsuits over the lineup of controversial drinks in the recent months, claiming that the high levels of caffeine in the product has led to the death of 2 customers and irreversible health complications in another. Again, if you know you're very sensitive to caffeine and you get basically a caffeine sugar bomb, I am so sorry for the families that lost their children or whoever they were, but it was labeled that it was insanely caffeinated. If you can't read, look, I am one for taking all the safety labels off. I think Darwin will take care of, himself, themselves. But on, for the love of all that is Cheetos, could people take some self-responsibility? A Panera spokesperson said new drinks will replace it, including low sugar and low caffeine options, including a new blueberry lavender lemonade, pomegranate hibiscus tea, citrus punch, and tropical green smoothie. The lineup of charged lemonades was introduced in April 2022, tied to the release of the beverage subscription program that let people get as many soft drinks and coffees as they wanted for $10.99 per month. Now the price has increased to $14.99. I am not in a Panera enough. Y'all, I will be totally honest with you. The last time I went to any kind of Panera or um oh gosh, Starbucks, I just asked the guy for one of those, shake things, the frappuccinos, and he's like, "Do you know how these are supposed to go?" And I said, "I can be honest with you, I don't go to Starbucks. I haven't been to a Starbucks in 4 years, so I have no idea." And he's like, "How do you survive?" And I said, "Well, I'm an adult and I'm not going to pay $10 for a cup of coffee that I don't like. So, you know, I don't know how I survive, sir." Panera Bread kept the charged lemonades on the menu despite the controversies because experts said removing the drink immediately could have come across as an implied admission that something was wrong with it in the first place. Quote, "Very often in lawsuits, there's a knee-jerk reaction among lawyers to do as little as possible publicity out of some vague fear that you are exposing yourself to additional liability," crisis PR expert James Haggerty previously told CNN, noting that this approach can have a detrimental effect on the market value of a company. Well, God forbid it be, it lose money. God forbid Panera lose money. I mean, it's not like putting an unsafe product when people can't read. Yep. Noting that this approach can, and at times to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars, Haggerty added that it is a quote, "cost benefit analysis. The loss of reputational value will often outweigh anything that occurs in a courtroom." Last month, Panera revamped its offerings with its largest menu transformation ever. It refocused its selection on sandwiches, soups, salad, and macaroni and cheese. A number of items got the axe too, including flatbreads and several sweet treats, and chili. We're excited to continue the success of our recent transformation. Please don't sue us. This is what this is. It's please don't sue us anymore. We don't want to be sued. And for our final story, because y'all know I am just the expert in these sort of things. But apparently Drake's security guard got injured outside of Toronto mansion amid the beef with Kendrick Lamar. Okay, is Kendrick Lamar the one that had kids with one of the Jenners? I don't know. The one that has all the makeup-y stuff. Look, I have never watched Keeping Up with Kardashians in my life, and I hope to keep it that way. I also didn't watch Rise of Palpatine, so I know. How could this happen in Canada? I thought Justin Trudeau made it illegal to own a force multiplier and say mean words. How are they going to keep their beef with the new anti-hate speech law? I mean, Drake, you might want to watch out. You're going to have to really tone down your beef. In the early morning hours of Tuesday morning, shots rang out in front of Drake's mansion in Toronto. One of the rapper's security guard, a 48-year-old man, was struck multiple times, but he survived. Drake, let me tell you something. If you do not take care of every single bit of this man's medical issues and, support and everything, you are going to look like a real douche. So please be human, be awesome, and you have the resources. Please take care of your people. I don't know, you look kind of mega douchey to me, and I may have watched Degrassi High School because Canada High School seems so much funner than ours. So, I remember when you were in the little wheelchair, sir. Don't make me have to come up there and uh, get your get you back into Degrassi mode, allegedly in Minecraft. There's currently no evidence that the drive-by was connected to the long ongoing feud between Drake, whose real name is Aubrey Graham, and Kendrick Lamar, which has thus far consisted solely of dueling diss tracks. Is this the East Coast versus the West Coast, only it's Canada versus America? I Oh, I wish I had a trick for that. I want to plant plants. I kill all the plants. I have a black thumb. I've tried. Maybe one day I'll get my superpower and that will be keeping. Oh, well, it is a good thing I'm American. To Whitney Alford? But didn't he have kids with one of the Jenner people, or is that someone else? I'm so confused. You know what I really want to watch? We might do a watch party. I'm going to try to set up my Discord, but we need to watch Romy and Michelle's high school reunion because I have the great need to watch it today for no reason. So once we get that set up, I'll probably do a watch with that. I'm feeling ambitious this week. Tammy, I have no idea. He used to be in Degrassi, which was like a
Apple Pass.
Griffin. What is all over your pad? Oh my God! What is? Sorry, you guys. Apparently, it's absolutely imperative that my son bring in his iPad. Griffin, you need to clean this. This is gross. All right, I can't do this right now.
It doesn't do it when it's clean.
Uh-huh.
It does.
Let's see. According to the Toronto Sun, the incident took place shortly after 2 a.m. outside Graham's home on Park Lane Circle in Toronto's exclusive Bridle Path neighborhood. Described as a drive-by by witnesses, the perpetrators fled the scene and were at large afterwards. The attack left a security guard with numerous gunshot wounds, including one to the chest. He was transported to Sunnybrook Hospital and taken for surgery right away. Well, at least they didn't try to, made him. Like, have you thought about just letting yourself go? We have this, we have these things where you can Kevorkian yourself if you want to, or we can do surgery. I mean, whichever one you want to do. Whether Graham was at the home when the shooting took place is unclear. However, as CTV News reports, sources say he will cooperate with the investigation. The rapper's beef kicked off in March with the release of, quote, Like That on the track. Lamar alluded to an earlier J. Cole song that suggested they, along with Graham, were the big three and rap music claiming instead it's just big me. Well, them is fighting words. That's not even. I've seen 8 Mile once. That sounds. This is the dumbest thing to fight over. The most stupid and dumbness is. This is just dumb enough to be real life current year. On April 3rd, Graham responded with push ups in which she suggested Lamar wasn't worthy of being in the big three and took aim at the rapper's small statue and work with mainstream artist. Tailor Made Freestyle was released on April 19th, but later deleted after Graham received a cease and desist letter from the estate of Tupac Shakur, whose AI generated voice was used. In the song, Graham suggested Lamar was waiting until Taylor Swift released her new album before he responded. Lamar released Euphoria on April 30th, blasting Graham for not being ethnic enough. If you get my look, there's some things that I can say and some things that I can't, but apparently Kendrick Lamar said that Drake was not melanated enough. And his alleged plastic surgery and use of AI. Another track, 616 in LA, was dropped 4 days later. It was notably produced by Jack Antonoff, who has worked extensively with Swift. Oh, I have not set it up yet. I have intentions to do that tomorrow, so there's not anything planned just yet. I need to work on making my own stuff and doing that. It's on my so I'm trying to put like the big 5 or the big 10 that I want to do of the week on a list, and if I can get most of those done, then it's a good week. I also walked 3 miles today. Although I am paying for it. I will say I am paying for it, but it was nice to just walk while I was doing stuff, making the dingus of the day for the Karen Reed trial, because they're all dinguses. I did pick for day one the prosecutor because he bored me to absolute tears, and there's nothing worse than boring me to tears. Let's see, Graham responded the same day with Family Matters, in which he suggested Lamar laid hands on his fiancee Whitney Alford and was not the father of his child. He also noted the fact that while Lamar makes a point of standing up for, certain demographics, Alford is also, biracial. Do you remember when Tupac and Biggie were fighting and it was good music, and you didn't want anything to happen to them, but they were making awesome jobs, and they were making good music. This is interesting. I don't understand this. On May 4th, Lamar released Meet the Grahams, turning the favor by going after Graham's family, addressing his son, wife, mother, and father individually. He also suggested the rapper has a secret daughter. It was followed later by Not Like Us, in which Lamar accused Graham of being a certified person who likes young ones. And the cover art was a Google Map image of Graham's mansion covered in red pins used on the app where offenders live. Okay, that's kind of hilarious, but that's really, really mad or really bad. Audio Coffee, I am sorry you have had a not so great day, but you know what? There are, her name is Carolyn Johnson. She is terminally perky. I'm going to warn you. She might annoy the snot out of you and you can just turn off the thing. But she has really, really good chair workouts that I want to incorporate too. after I can see if I still do the stepper. I have not kept up with, my East Coast, West Coast knowledge is very low. I know you're shocked. Let's see. On May 5th, Graham released The Heart Part 6. In the tune, Graham claimed that his crew deliberately fed Lamar false rumors about his alleged daughter and suggested Lamar only accused him of being a lover of young ones because he had been abused as a child. What in the actual... I just... What? You just picked up your daughter from my mom and saw the person... Oh, heck yeah. I mean, I I know you're shocked, you guys, but that is the end of my story. I have no idea as to the when the rap battle will cease, when will peace come to R&B or whatever the heck this is labeled as. And I'm going to send you guys to Shizzy. I'm just doing that right now. And then I will be over there after I take a biological break for, reasons. Look, 6 children do not a strong bladder make, especially 6 children with heads like this. I had the most pumpkin headed children. I love them to death, but they just huge. Could not, I mean, the nurses were like, he's very, we've got a very big head. And I was like, yeah, I know. I do know that. So, good evening. Say something kind to yourself. Say something kind to someone else. We can really, we can do small things to affect our circle. And if enough circles meet, then we'll have a better world. Do I win the Miss America pageant now? Anywho, bye, guys.